This service was designed because originally we'd seen that everybody had scrambled to create remote workers, and that was the most important element to keep the businesses functioning and working. In doing so, so many have relaxed their security, not on purpose, maybe through misconfigurations, but what we've done is we've identified a load of these weaknesses for customers before the attackers do. That gave us an idea that we can actually go out and help people whilst under this COVID-19 lockdown. So what we've done is we've developed two services that we're giving away. One is a scanning service, and that is we can either use your scanning information and pull that into our dashboard. And the other one is looking at compromised email accounts that you'll have across your organization, or even personal email accounts. So let's go back to the scanning. The scanning is we use an industry leading scanner, and then we scan your external facing systems, and we're looking for weaknesses that could be exploited by these attackers at the moment. When we pull that information in, we then put a risk rated score against that, put it into our dashboard, and then you can look at where you're at operational risk of a cyber attack against those vulnerabilities.
Some of our customers are experiencing this dashboard now. They are getting the value out of the dashboard. The feedback from this is fantastic. So the dashboard uses a industry top leading scanning software, and what we do is we scan from an external location, scanning your external facing IP addresses, and we're looking for any vulnerabilities or weaknesses that hackers might exploit. Once we can identify those, which we do here, we have a summary down the left hand side of the dashboard. We can help the organization remediate those quickly. So here you have a summary of all the criticality of those vulnerabilities, how many they are, how many hosts we're scanning. Here's a view of all the hosts, and we have color-coded these into criticality-wise. Down here we have the number of vulnerability count that we have. We have the vulnerability by CVSS scoring, 10 being the most critical, 0 being the lowest. And then we have the vulnerability details and solutions over here on the right hand side. So if we click on a particular vulnerability, we can see here which host it's on and what the vulnerability is. We give a cut down version of the explanations of those and a solution, and then we can drive straight over to the National Vulnerability Database link here that links up to the National Vulnerability Database. Now the NVD database is globally run by NIST, and any vulnerabilities that have been seen out there get a identification code, a CVE, and put into this database here, and we have an automation with it. So the NVD database gives you a description of what that vulnerability is. It gives you a score, so this is critical, and it then gives you advisories and references and solutions and tools that you can then use to help quickly go and remediate. Let's jump back into the dashboard quickly. Over here, we can start to filter down into this. So you may have a particular host that's really important that holds your crown jewels. You can click on it and it will tell you all those vulnerabilities and list them down here. We can then start to look at the criticality. So you can choose which ones are all critical or high. We can then start to filter down into CVS scoring. So it may be I just want to see 8 and above. We can choose a particular identification code, a CVE. We can start to look at ports and protocols as well. This is really valuable because this helps identify those vulnerabilities. It helps prioritize those vulnerabilities so that you can then go and fix them quickly before the attackers exploit them. We've thrown this in as well, which is, have I been pwned? I'm sure some of you recognize this. So we're asking every organization to give us all their email addresses, and we will just scan them and present the information back in a readable format. This gives a good overview, summary, how many email addresses we checked versus how many are breached, the percentage, and the last breach as well. We can click on a particular email address here, and it will start to tell us down below the details of those email addresses that have been compromised and where they were compromised, the duration, what data types have been compromised as well. Again, over here we have the filters. So this enables you to particularly select a specific user that might be known to lots of compromises so that you can keep an eye on. We also have data sets, so you might want to show interest in any email addresses that have had their password compromised. And then we've got the timestamp on these, so we can start to move it to the latest. And if we want to, you can start to select a particular breach out of those as well that we've seen.
If you do have any questions about this, feel free to contact me or click on the link at the end and register your interest. Thank you for watching. Stay safe. Take care.